Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we're progressing and we are moving on to the topic al-mufrad. Al-mufrad, the singular noun. Now we want to learn about the singular noun because just like we have it in English, we have singular and plural, then we have there's a way we recognize the singular English words and the plural. So for example, if I say boy, a boy, that's singular. But if I say boys, by adding the S, I've made it what? Plural. So we have the same thing in Arabic too. So we have signs for the singular noun, the dual noun, and in the plural noun. So in Arabic we have it in three categories. We have the singular, the dual, and the plural. Unlike in English, whereby we have just the singular and the plural only. So in Arabic, we have the singular, the dual, and the plural. So we are taking a look at the singular first, then after the dual, then the plural, inshallah. May Allah make it easy for us. Now, again, as it is our style to break it down as usual. So by now, I want us to try to be noting out the vocabularies. By now we should be building our vocabulary. By now we should know what huwa means. In this context, kullu, yadullu, all these words, we should know what they mean by now. Al-insan, al-hayawan, al-nabat, and so on. So in the book, the author says, al-mufradu, the singular noun, huwa, it is kullu ismi. And then sometimes I translate it technically, because if I should translate it literally, then it may not really go. But inshallah, I will let you know when I translate these words, these sentences technically, inshallah. Now, huwa, it is kullu ismin, every noun, yadullu ala, that indicates wahidin, a singular masculine noun, aw wahidatin, or a singular feminine noun. So literally wahid means one or something singular. Wahidat, but technically we are referring to what? We know we are referring to masculine noun and feminine noun. You can see wahid, this is masculine, then wahida, this is feminine, because it has what? Tam marbuta. Aw wahidatin, or a singular feminine noun, min al-insan, from humans, aw al-hayawan, or animals, aw al-nabat, or plants, aw al-jamad, or non-living things. I think that's pretty clear. So we have examples. Amthilatun, we have ustadun, a teacher. Samakatun, a fish. Shajaratun, a tree. Masparatun, a ruler. Now we've learned what al-mufrad is, but how do we recognize al-mufrad? How do we recognize the singular noun? Because obviously all these definitions we're familiar with it, either in English or local language. So I'll try to give us 4 tips of how we can recognize a singular noun in Arabic, inshallah. So this is just to help us. This is not kind of like absolutes. These 4 tips, it is just to help us. It is not absolutes, because you see some words going out of these 4 tips. When I explain further, then you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, the first tip is that for you to recognize a singular noun, so for you to be almost sure that a word, a noun, is a singular noun, number 1 is that it has to be capable of taking tenween, nunation, tenween. We have fatatan, domatan, and kasratan. This is what is called tenween. This is what is called tenween, nunation. Tenween. So the first tip for you to be almost sure that a noun is singular is that the noun has to be capable of taking on tenween. For example, you see ustadun, samakatun, shajaratun, masparatun. Why am I saying this? Because dual nouns are not capable of taking on tenween. You will never see a dual noun having tenween. So that's why you say qalamani, not qalamani. So the second tip is that if you see that the word is not ending with alif and nun, whereby they don't take on kasra. This is what I'm saying. If you see the word ending with alif and then the nun takes on, followed by nun that takes on kasra, automatically you know that what? You know that it cannot be what? It cannot be a singular noun. Or yaw, or the word ends with yaw followed by a nun that takes on a single kasra. They automatically, they cannot be what? They cannot be, the word cannot be what? The word cannot be a singular noun. The third tip is that when you see the word ending with wow followed by a nun that takes on a single kasra, then the word cannot be what? The word cannot be a singular noun. Or ending with yaw followed by a nun that takes on what? A single kasra, then the word cannot be what? The word cannot be a singular noun. Because these are signs for what? These are signs for masculine plurals. The alif mad and nun that takes on kasra, and then the yaw followed by nun that takes on kasra, they are signs for dual nouns. So that's the third tip. Then the fourth tip is when you see a word ending with alif elongation followed by ta, then most likely the word cannot be a singular noun. Why? Because this is the sign for the plural feminine. This is the sign for the plural feminine. So let's take on the word and then we'll go on through these four tips. For example, let me use the word Muslimun. Muslimun. Now let's take it through the four tips I mentioned earlier. The first tip is that the word has to be capable of what's taking on tenwin. You can see that Muslimun is ending with what's tenwin, dummatan. The second tip is what? It should not end with alif followed by a nun with single kasra. So it is not ending with alif or nun yet. Although there are some words, there are some singular words that may end with alif and nun. That's why I put the condition that the nun has to take what? A singular kasra. So, but apart from that, most times when you see a word ending with alif and nun, most times you should be kind of sure that this word is a dual word. Especially if you are familiar with the root letters of the word. For example, what I'm saying is that, for example, we have qalamani. Qalamani. The actual root letters of this word is qaf, lam, and mim. Qalamun means a pen. So qalamani. So after adding alif and nun, it turns towards qalamani, that is two pens. So for example, if you are someone that is already familiar with qalamun before, qalamun, a pen before, so then later on you are reading a book and then you see qalamani, obviously you will know that this alif and nun has been added to turn it towards, to turn it to a dual word. So the important thing is that we can see that Muslim is not ending with what? Is not ending with alif and nun. The third tip is that it should neither it is ending with, nor is it ending with yaw and nun. The third tip is that it should not end with waw followed by nun with a single kasra, because that is the sign for the masculine plural. So you can see that it is not ending with that. Neither is it ending with why it is also not ending with yaw followed by nun with a single fatha, and then it is not ending with what? With alif followed by tatu. So these are the four tips we can use to recognize. We can use to try to recognize a singular word. The first tip. So again, the first tip is that the word should be capable of taking what? Taking on tenwin, nunation, fathatan, kasratan, dummatan. The second tip is that the word should not end with alif followed by a nun with a single kasra, or ending with ya followed by a single kasra. The third tip, the word should not end with waw followed by nun with a single fatha, or ending with ya followed by a single fatha. Then the fourth And the last tip is that the word should not end with alif followed by alif mad followed by ta. Wallahu a'lam. Subhanaka wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.